My greatest joy is not just being a drummer. My greatest joy is inspiring people to be everything that God created them to be. In this journey of mine, I've learned that God has deposited great riches into every single person on this planet. And nothing is more fulfilling than fulfilling the will of God in your life. When you are doing what God put you on this planet to do and doing it at the level that He gave you the potential for, that's when you're soaring. So my greatest joy is to see people become everything that God ordained for them to be. And SOAR is it's really my heart's cry to equip people with the tools and the inspiration and the encouragement of how to do that. So it's filled with hundreds of inspirational stories of people who've been able to reach their potential against all odds. And I feel like each person's got a desire inside of them, but many people don't know how to go about turning it into something. It's not that we lack the talent, we lack the vision, we lack the process. We don't know some of the fundamentals, some of the principles, and then we're brainwashed by a society that doesn't teach you these things, and they teach you this whole journey of self, and then you don't really learn how, like we are accountable to develop what God gave us. God already gave us a gift. Now, it's up to us to discover it and uncover it, but the joy for me in my life is the uncovering process. The joy is developing that thing that He gave you, uncovering it, and then learning how to move past all the opposition and all the obstacles that are preventing you or that try to prevent you from soaring. Because we live in a world where there's an enemy of God, and the enemy of God does not want you to be everything God created you to be, because if you do that, you're going to impact people for the kingdom of God. So why would any enemy just let you do that? So there's always opposition, and there's always things that people don't understand, and so they give up, and they quit, and they don't fulfill the vision of the dream because they don't understand all of those principles. So there's tons of ammunition and fuel and inspirational stories and the actual life principles of how to do this to achieve what you're here to do, to make the impact you're here to make.
Well, Zoro is joining us today here at ICRS 2016. So you use a couple of words, want to return to discover and uncover.
Yeah.
So how do you recommend that someone actually discovers the gifts or the skills that God has given to them?
There's a few ways. Sometimes we already recognize them right away. Sometimes we recognize them when we're young in childhood because we're drawn to them. I feel sometimes it's like a magnet. Like when I heard music as a young boy, I was drawn to it like a magnet. All that had to happen to activate my gift was see somebody else play the drums. When I saw somebody play the drums on television, so God puts that thing inside of you that you're going to be drawn to something because He already put sort of that GPS in you, that when you saw someone do this thing, like an athlete who sees somebody playing sports and then you see it, the magnet is drawn and attracted to it. Now what happens in childhood, unfortunately, is sometimes people talk you out of that dream. People talk you out of the vision, or people who don't see your potential will say, well, you're not good at that, or you'll never be that. And so we discard that magnetism, that draw to things. It could be through family members, it could be through teachers. But one thing I tell people is if you're not sure what you have, just pray an earnest prayer to God and say, Lord, show me the thing that you gave me that makes me unique. Show me what my gifts and talents are so I can be everything you wanted me to be. God will answer that prayer, but then you have to be ready to do it, and you've got to be accountable. So SOAR is really about discovering it, but it's also about developing it because you're accountable, and there's a whole process to turning something ordinary into something extraordinary. And then the whole purpose of it all is that you deploy it.